Before we begin, I'd like to point out that these following reviews are of the episodes that take place in a connected storyline. As you may know, SMG4 had revealed the YouTube arc in the video Mario vs. YouTube, and it is the 6th episode of the story as shown in the official playlist. So if you're wondering how I will tackle arcs, just letting you know that I will be reviewing these as normal, then deliver my final thoughts on the story as a whole once it concludes. I've already been doing that since Mario's Spicy Day was the opener according to the same playlist. Let's not waste any more time and get on with this special edition of multi reviews. Buckle up, folks, some more YouTube shenanigans, or are they? SMG3 and his gang are back, including Mario using their bathroom. This time they're planning to steal the YouTube remote from Susan. Why she deserves to get her last name wrong, and they brought along the retard plumber due to experience with the device. Including the traumatic arcade, he thinks it sucks, which is code for I ain't interested. But SMG3 manipulates by making him think of Greg. Turns out his demise was confirmed and Mario had lost his dear companion. That one that isn't a dinosaur. Note that I didn't cry over this, I actually chuckled a bit. In fact, just felt bad since it isn't necessarily overshadowing final hours. So Mario accepts and the gang prepares for the heist. Rob distracts the guard with what else and carries everyone through the check-ins boxes. There's Shumi on the scout group tour, showcasing where the SpongeBob anime went. Melanie hacks the elevator because it can, and Bailey tries to distract her with La Cute Gamer Girl, but fails so she shows them a record-breaking speedrun, along with Rob running a corn sale. Then the others sneak into the server, running into a robot guardian. So Wimpu offers him leaked OnlyFans pics. Yes, this guy knows paying for that site is ludicrous, making the bot horny. SMG3, Mario, and Jub go to the half hallway, but it's filled with lasers, so Melody shuts them down. Unfortunately, a backup trap was set up. The bot detects something's wrong and tries to stop them, but Wimpu shows him Twitch loots, causing it to malfunction. Still wondering why they say SMG4 is for kids when they explicitly reference this stuff? Back to the 3. Mario kicks Jub to deactivate the traps and finally reach the forbidden room. But Susan shows up and battles them in her dinosaur form. They successfully take her down, only to get slammed by the band hammer. Before they declare the mission a failure, Shumi in his demon form has obtained the remote. While the crew were sinking the elevator, SMG3 chucked a demon mask at the Mushroom Scout to spawn his alternate personality, which had never been defeated. He then used his troops to help take the remote while others were fighting Susan. The evil plumber has the remote and was actually planning to destroy his enemy once and for all. Mario's shocked since he thought he would only use it to rebuild the studio, but was manipulated with the death of his pet, and his stupidity was used to his advantage. Then he is sent to the meme dimension where the events of the last video occurred. A week later, Mario tells SMG4 everything that happened, and he drags him outside, getting the gang together to defend themselves against the impending doom. For being the episode to reveal the new arc, this was a great choice. It was nice to see the anti-cast again, watching their teamwork and bouncing off each other a bit. The odd-part humor involving the occasional adult references and continuing from recent videos. I call this would involve SMG3 and Demon Shooters at some point, but I didn't expect to see more characters along the way. The clues are usually subtle whenever a storyline starts. Since they don't say when it starts at the first episode, I explain more my thoughts when the finale rolls. And this video gets an 8 out of 10. SMG3 announces his plan to take over SMG4 by traveling back in time so that Mario's friends never meet him. He demonstrates with Frankie in the Toad, the Fat, and the Ugly by knocking him out with a disguised Teletubby to take his place, causing Frankie to disappear from the current timeline. Then he shows the videos when most of the cast first appeared, including Luigi's birth. The antis warp to their counterparts' time periods, but SMG3 is hit by Boopkins kicked by Mario, and the heroes arrive to stop his madness. Since the device is extremely sealed, SMG3 quickly jumps into account lost, and everyone tries to stop their rivals from altering the timeline while Mario stays behind to get the remote. In the Mario the Ultimate Gamer, Tauri tries to stop Belly with a gaming match, but fails after she distracts her with a rubber duck. She arrives back to the present in tears as Mario witnesses her disappearance. Distraught as the friend he made memories with is retconned. Next in Can Ganondorf come out to play, Rob scares away the Mario Bros, causing Bob to fade away. Then in Doki Doki Mario Club, Psycho kicks Wimpy onto Boopkin's laptop after showcasing his favorite PC games. With the computer broken, Boopkin is unable to make Psycho real and her present self disappears. Now onto the seaside stupidity from the SMG4 and Pals series. Boopkins fails to stop his brother when he accidentally made his present self and a wormhole appears, sucking them both in. After that, Luigi doll throws baby Luigi out, making baby Mario think the doll is his brother. President Luigi arrives too late and is exempt from existence. And I believe this is where the timeline truly derailed. And if Mario was in Splatoon, Melanie hits Mario on the head before he gains any interest in his first Splatfest. President Meggy quickly tries to convince him to join, but the broadcast has ended and Mario fails to comprehend anything she says. After that, two never cross paths again, and her current self disappears from that timeline. Finally, in account loss, SMG4 halts SMG3 from introducing himself to Mario, making him think the former is somebody else. Through Mario's naiveness, the evil plumber convinces him to attack his rival and kick him out of the castle. Back in the present, Mario's unable to free the remote, and SMG4 rats back and tells him it's over. The anti-cast successfully altered history to SMG3's favor, and then sent Meme Lord Feds into obscurity, leaving the Paisiano all alone. This may be one of the deepest videos in the series. It's not as deep as, say, Meggy's Destiny, but it's sort of up there. Despite the tone being mostly comedic, it's really depressing to see someone's friends taken away. Now I recognize that not everyone in Mario's life has disappeared. There's still remaining Mario casts assuming that take part in this arc, as well as Anti-Shroomy, Axel, Jeeves, and the guards, and so on. Hey guys, Future Warrior here letting you know this next part of the script was written shortly after this episode's release, so it doesn't reflect on the content of my final thoughts on the storyline aside from the rating, but we felt it was worth sharing as part of the discussion. So there you go, and now back to the review. During this part of the story, it's unknown whether he'll turn to those people for help before reality completely falls apart. And if he still remembers his buddies, including his real brother, before SMG3 is unstoppable, it's interpreted the timeline hasn't completely merged with the Snitch era yet, and that the series will be rewritten in the next video. So Mario isn't completely doomed, but the clock is ticking. And I know what you're thinking. The continuity makes absolutely no sense. But a reminder that time travel isn't necessarily the most consistent thing ever is in order. The missing characters could still exist and have been in a different place and form in SMG3's timeline. For example, Luigi isn't gone, but replacing the dolls as it and Mario take part in their adventure as normal. Boopkin's dad might have one or no son, considering the events of the egg, and since Mario didn't make friends with Meggy, Destiny might be spared. Yeah, so I don't know how people are calling this arc predictable. So far, when the solution to get everything back to normal hasn't been shown yet, but I would say this, it will be a mistake if nothing is explained in the following episodes, depending on what will change in the universe. Either Mario still remembers these events happening or he doesn't. Now, where's the Mandela effect when you need it? Okay, so the plot and humor are fairly well done, and the cat mouse scene was really authentic since he recreated his old style. You know, I'm not the biggest fan of SMG4's first few years, but I do respect the attention to detail. And the drama doesn't put me off like how others reacted. Sad scenes have their place in comedies after all. Some improvements I will include is to make all the other disappearances slightly more dramatic. Especially Luigi, since they're related in more scenes involving Mario trying to break the glass in various ways between time and traveling segments. I don't really know if that glass is unbreakable, so Deleted gets a 9 out of 10. Some of the stuff I predicted might be true or false, but things can only get better from here. You know, the title's lying when Mario wakes up as if nothing really happened. Luigi greets his brother, then immediately starts acting funny, causing the screen to glitch. Mario raises a question, but he takes him to his SMG4 rather quickly. Mario and Oreo confusion notice everything is off, especially his friends, meaning we get to see this lovely imagery. Oh my God! Horrified, he tries to escape but finds out SMG3 is taking control of the whole show. He erases his friends and replaces them with his associates, likely in disguise, to make sure Mario didn't suspect a thing. But now the truth is out, he attacks him, wanting them back, but gets pods left behind in the void. SMG3, having succeeded his mission, attempts to make the first video on the revamp of channel. Rob comes into his room, shows us his favorite food, his new rap song. He accidentally breaks his PC, so they go to a Best Buy to replace it as SMG3 declares the start of the new adventure. The rest of his crew are at the store to poorly reenact a typical episode, and it falls apart due to SMG3's desperation. Billy points out that he never becomes successful as his enemy was, since he's only trying to copy him without any unique twist. In an egotistical manner, he resents her statement and insults his crew, and this goes to show no matter how far he gets with his dastardly plans, he's still be an incompetent villain. Not even Anti-Shroom is the same. Meanwhile, in the void, the hero is frozen, and suddenly ghosts of Susan Weiss, her last name so hard to pronounce, and SMG4 showed up. It's revealed that the game actually survived deletion and were warped to the meme dimension, using the same coffee shop to get in contact with Mario to his relief. Susan explains how she got there because she was deleted as well. SMG3 took the extra step to knock her out on the day he posted cringe to secure the remote for himself right before the events of deleted. So I'm going to deviate here to provide an explanation how this happened, since this was an unexpected twist that doesn't match what the viewers initially predicted. So why didn't SMG3 warp Mario and his friends to the graveyard all at once? Well, it's probably because that's what he initially planned first off screen, since he managed to try it out with Mario Luigi. He didn't realize the possibility of the brothers escaping, so he thought of backup plan to travel back in time within several videos, believing that's what would wipe out Mario's companions, and Susan were good. But he was unaware of circumstances regarding the internet graveyard, meaning both wrapping to the dimension or changing the timeline have the same result. Having been there a second time at the point, Luigi was able to lead everybody to the Starbucks he came back from. Then there's the question of how Mario was able to retain memories of his friends. It shows that the almighty YouTube remote is extremely powerful, and it's powerful enough to override the flow of time, which was what edged SMG3 to trick Mario into thinking everything is fine. Knowing how logic in this universe is very complicated if you break it down. It is difficult to notice an answer to the mayhem. Now, where were we? Oh yeah, Susan uses her remaining power to free Mario, and SMG4 tells him to grab SMG3's phone so they can re-upload the original videos. The events of the original timeline to reset everything and go back home. The heroes off the chase and that play for last bad guy down while he uses the remote to stop him. Mario manages to catch up to SMG3, but finds out the remote is gone as he gave it to the Ouija doll, as sees horde of YouTube buttons after him. Mario is captured, getting sent to the graveyard, and for a moment hope was lost, but he successfully grabbed the phone. Now able to restore the videos, the crew is able to return the world. Despite the glaring plot hole this video introduced, and didn't take away the impact from the previous video upon initial viewing. Heck, everyone knows the ending of these arcs are usually happy ones, and almost everything will be resolved. Seriously, anyone who doesn't like when the series acts like this? Oh. Thinks they have every right to behave like this. We'll get to that much later. It'd be hard pressed to call this choice predictable, since they went with another thing over time travel, which is messy in of itself, mind you. And you didn't expect to see Susan? Yes, Susan to actually help out anyone with her position on this very website. Anyway, this is completely put together video. From the beginning, I have very terrifying element to highlight SMG3 incompetence but effectiveness during a situation. The couple of humorous moments in the action-based chase sequence, this video deserves an 8.5 out of 10. Now it's time for the moment you all been waiting for. A highly anticipated yearly tradition of War of the Valentines closes the YouTube arc with a bang. The gang arrive back home and spot the snitch crew trying to film a video. SMG3 spots the others and tries to send them back, but Susan steps in to take their remote. But he pushes the reset button, freezing Susan, and the spirit of device is released into Jub's body. It levitates him into the sky, tasking whoever completes most of the challenges are worthy of keeping the channel. And the competition rages on, so I told my favorite challenges that will feature on Who Can. Kick Jub the farthest, pronounce Susan's last name correctly, why would you? Survive the longest watching Axel's two-piece? Commit the most crimes without getting caught by monitor. BLJ faster, get a Bob girlfriend first, steal heavy sandwich, beat Matt in Wii Sports Tennis, survive the Warrior Operation, beat Steve in the game of survival mode, fix Toad and Toadette's relationship, and finally, who can lift big SMG4. Then the channel is at stake with the final battle starting with SMG3's monologue. Afterwards, he holds Bootkin's hostage, trying to drop him from the building and demands the remote. Jub fights off the demon inside to protect his brother and spits out a remote, landing on SMG3's hand. The new rap battle song starts, and halfway through, SMG3 saps Meggy with the voice function and she sings in English.
He did it! The son of a bitch did it! Yeah!
Oh my god, a banger of a number and a new character change at the same time. It just gets better and better. I mean, that's seriously. SMG3's gang then realizes their leader's wrongdoings and joins the others to defeat them. He then swallows the remote and unleashes its true power, attempting to put an end to it, but they all dodge his attacks, and SMG3 is about to pummel his one true nemesis. Mario kicks Jub in a spiny shell towards him, and SMG4 drop kicks him into the road. Everyone comes together to witness his defeat. He spits out the remote so they can free Susan. As punishment for everything that occurred, she sends SMG3 to the mean dimension. and he panics getting dragged into the portal. Both groups befriend each other after a job well done. And Susan agrees to go easy on SMG4's demonetizations. This might have something to do with Miss Livy's here's termination, considering the time this was made. Having left for remote, Meggy greets herself with her new voice, and her fears appreciated, including me. After the crazy adventure they had, they all head home while SMG3 is stuck in exile trying to set up a new podcast. Who knows, he will attract his own audience this time. Well, I gotta say, this is a record breaker for my personal favorite, War of the Valentines, which instantly gets a perfect score. Just throwing that out there, these challenges might not be the best for everyone, but they're still entertaining as ever. It was a nice change of pace to not have just Mario and SMG4, but everyone else to complete. You had to do something different in order to keep traditions fresh. To anyone that had their submissions accepted, congratulations. But if you ask me, the opening and ending are what truly made the video special. And the song, oh man, the rap battle. I will be putting that on play again and again until the sun explodes. It's practically the best they ever produced, and the sure help they had AJ, this spiritual, on board. That guy has some talent. Normally I will end it here and move on to the next, but this isn't the last I have to say of the War of Valentines at 2020 and the arc as whole. I got a special segment that covers those you will just see right now. I have to admit, the Waluigi and anime arcs were better, but to be clear, that doesn't mean that this one is outright mediocre. It was still a fun break from the standard videos. Sendero hasn't been story arc for the past full year. And contrary to what others think, I don't declare this stuff to be spotless, as each aspects to ups and downs. First off, the endings of Smartest Spicy Day implied the tone will be serious later on. Much like the final videos of the anime arc, we had some hints of the thematic drama, especially in deleted, but that's not really what we got throughout every other episode. Then there's anti-shrooming. I won't lie, that was kind of disappointing. That was introduced not long before this arc started, and had its own episode shortly after. It came back since they needed a counterpart for the real Shroomy, but it didn't get much spotlights amongst the anti-cast, and he doesn't even revert back to normal at the end. So I don't have any idea if they do something about this in the future. As of making the script, despite those significant flaws, it is still worth watching the whole way through because the good still outweighs the bad. I always two theories on why the storyline came out as it did. One more flesh out than the other. 1. They recognized the anime arc's criticism of the plot being too serious for the series and long because it was spanned for 3 months worth of videos. So they decided to go with something less dramatic but still adventurous. And the fact that some viewers have been clamoring for SMG3 to come back, being out of relevance in the show for quite a while. He became the story's villain, which is arguably a lot more fitting than the previous nemesis. With number 2, with the recent reveal of the GNU Glitch channel, it appears that the production crew has been busier than ever, confirming that they're working on not 2, not 3, but 4, maybe even 5 animated shows that have yet to come out. War of the Valentines is usually produced in the fall, but they noticed Meta Runner Season 2 will conflict with the release of the video, along with the wanting to start a new arc. They decided to make it early, and promote it, as if the finale with the Waluigi arc, which explains why this one is slightly shorter than the last and felt rushed with plot hole in a totally normal episode. They gotten so busy that they're trying to do what they can for the fans without any major screw-ups. It wouldn't surprise everyone that deep down, they're pretty tired developing SMG4. They're planning on ending the series soon to better focus on their other projects. but this is yet to be confirmed since they did say they'll be still working as normal. It has been 9 years after all, so if they can send off the show that started it all with a dignified or satisfying conclusion, then I won't be against that. We are getting more shows that could potentially fill the void. One of these upcoming shows even features Meggy as shown in the teaser. Speaking of whom, let's talk about her new voice for a moment. I promise this is the last time I ever state this fact. Meggy's voice actress is Lizzie Freeman. You know who you may know as a person who plays Trish Una in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure English dub. If you still don't believe me, then do some research. It's true. An industry professional working amongst a group of folks who try to make their job fun as possible is neat in on itself. The reason why Meggy speaks English now is simple. Viewers have questioned why she still sounded like an Inkling after turning human in final hours then in this past year. So it felt appropriate to make this change, since they retired from making Splatoon content. You know, these 3 videos actually related to the game. Along with this, they even acknowledged that this sounds somewhat annoying, much to the dismay of fans who love her original form way too much. As fans who should move on from the channel long ago left it at that. I guess where this is going. 3 days after the video's release, somebody highlighted the part where she got her new voice on Twitter, but not in a very nice way, and this discourse against SMG4 emerged. Some of which was about justifying bullying against anyone who was involved with the channel, crew members or fans, and highlighted all the stuff they don't like now more than ever, which is real disheartening and frustrating to see, as I mentioned before. In regards to the former fans and non-fans who never touched the channel more than once, where have you been for the past couple of years? You had no right to ridicule someone you don't know, let alone say it's just a joke or if it's really hurtful. And those who still watch the channel, rejecting almost everything they do nowadays, sorry to say this, but it says you actually don't care about anything that isn't the show itself. You better off stroking your ego somewhere else. If you believe classic SMG4 was your own show to begin with, and make jokes about how much you hate the new stuff, because frankly you won't admit you haven't enjoyed in years, and in it for the clout. Plus the Meggy purists have gotten more vicious and superior than ever. Hell, some of the staff members are subtly aware of the problems these groups cause, which could mean Luke and Kevin are slowly but surely recognizing how part of the fan base is killing them out of their content, and giving Meggy a voice is directly saying it's annoying is their way of saying, we're giving you the chance to leave, it was nice knowing you. That will make a lot of sense to fans like me, since we all know we had enough of this bullcrap. I get it, changing a formula that worked just fine is aggravating to some. Just ask anyone who played Paper Mario Sonic game. But that does not give you the green light to act ungrateful and selfish. And that's that. Alright, now the exhausting explanation is over with. Let's move on to the final video.
Oh man, it itches.
Yep, that's all you need to know about this video. Nah, I wouldn't do you guys like that. So, with Mario exhausted from all that universe saving, he decides to relax by, you wouldn't guess, scratching his butt. But he knows the itch is still there, so he tries everything he can, including Jeeves and asking Luigi to scratch it for him. He also does a super ground pound, but nothing worked. Exasperated, Mario travels all around the map as Ragmaster narrates for compensation of his absence. Later he finds the butt scratching temple, and Bobs happens to be there with the same issue. Both of them attempt trials to give in society's leader named Ancient Boy, mastering the way of butt scratching. To achieve ultimate ration healing, After all that, they go to the top of an extremely high mountain where they give up halfway through after Agent Boy declares it was the beginning of their journey, and ride in an Uber to their destination. Inside the mountain is an iron forge where the legendary Ass Scratcher resides. The catch is only one of them can obtain it. So Bob and Mario fight, and the foolish gardener turns metal, beating his best friend. He was able to take the treasure for himself, but Ancient Boy tells him it's about the last minute sacrifice. Not wanting to draw Mario to lava, he kicks the master off the ledge instead. RIP. The mountain erupts into a volcano, and the two escape by sliding down the mountain. It cures their rash, and they high-five only to get burned by magma. Ouch. 9 out of 10. This is a solid post-arc shitpost video, as they call it. It doesn't top others like Glass of Milk or the McDonald's video, but it gets the job done. The dynamic of Mario and Bob helped this video really well among the very simplistic concept. Scratching about it sure does beat going to Disney World like the 5th time in a row. Who would thought? Well, this went a tag longer than usual. I guess that's what happens when you analyze the uneventful story. Thank you guys so much for watching, especially if you made it this far. All that's left is telling you to stay safe, wear a mask outside, and as always, peace out.
What's up with you?
You're getting on my fucking nerves, alright?
Hey, fuck you, bitch.
You are dead meat!
I want to apologize.